ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Now, history rarely asks easy questions, but it always asks important ones. Allow me to begin with one. Imagine that 50 years from today, a child stands on this very stage. Perhaps that child is your grandson, perhaps your granddaughter, perhaps someone none of us will meet. And that child asks us one simple question. When you knew the planet was changing, what did you do? Not about governments did, not about scientists did, not what business did, but what you did. So one day, every generation must answer a defining question. I believe this is ours. Because history has entrusted us with a unique responsibility. We must learn how to prosper without exhausting the planet that makes our prosperity possible. That, I believe, is the measure of our generation. So, ladies and gentlemen, my own journey with environmental issues began many years ago. While pursuing my master's degree in international journalism, I chose environmental journalism as the subject of my research. At that time, environmental reporting was hardly considered a major topic. I still remember my professor told me, one day environmental news will become one of the world's biggest news. So years later, I realized how right it was. That realization became even clearer during my 8 years at the United Nations as a resident correspondent. So as journalists, we do more than report history. We witness history. Over the years, I attended climate conferences, interviewed world leaders, diplomats, scientists, and senior UN officials. I listened to representatives of small island nations describe fears that their countries might disappear beneath rising seas. I still remember a minister from the Maldives telling me, if sea levels continue rising at this rate, my country may simply vanish from the map. For him, climate change was not a political debate. It was a matter of national survival. Among all the people I interviewed, one conversation remains unforgettable. I interviewed Mr. Peter Thompson, the UN Secretary General's Special Envoy for the Ocean. I expected him to speak about negotiations, about policies. Instead, he spoke about his grandchildren. He asked a simple question. Will my grandchildren inherit the same Fiji that I inherited? I have never forgotten that question, because in that moment, climate change ceased to be an environmental issue. It became a family issue, a human issue, a moral issue, a question of love. In 2019, I interviewed Mr. Luis Alfonso do Alba, then the UN Secretary's Special Envoy for the Climate Action Summit. During our conversation, he said, something that has stayed with me ever since. He said, only concrete action can truly slow down or even stop climate change. The sentence was simple, yet its meaning was profound, because ideas alone do not change the world. Intentions do not change the world. Even agreements do not change the world. Only action does. So for my part, over the past decades, I have written hundreds of new stories about environmental protection and climate change. Using my pen, my computer, I have tried to make my own small contribution to raising awareness of these changes. So, ladies and gentlemen, today humanity possesses greater knowledge, technology, and resources than any point in history. Yet we face unprecedented environmental challenges. The hardest years in recorded history have occurred during our time. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent. Floods, droughts, wildfires, and rising sea levels affect communities across every continent. Should we be discouraged? My answer is, of course, no. Because every major challenge in human history has also inspired innovation. Renewable energy is expanding rapidly. AI is improving efficiency. Green technologies are advancing faster than ever. And young people around the world are demanding change. Hope is not found in denying reality. Hope is found in acting upon reality. China's rapid transition toward new energy vehicles demonstrates what becomes possible when innovation, policy, and public participation move in the same direction. It proves an important point. Environmental protection and economic development are not enemies. So, ladies and gentlemen, after more than 30 years as a journalist, I eventually began asking myself a different question. If we understand the challenges facing our world, do we also have a responsibility to become part of the solution? The question eventually led me to establish Global City Connect. Many people ask me, why did you create GCC? The answer is simple. Because throughout my years at United Nations and around the world, I discovered something important. The world does not lack ideas. The world does not lack passion. The world lacks effective connections. Many people know many people. Many organizations attend many conferences. But when real projects need partners, when entrepreneurs need resources, when cities seek cooperation, meaningful connections are often difficult to find. Too often, opportunities are lost because the right people never meet. Innovative projects fail to advance because the right resources never connect. That is why GCC was created. Not simply to connect people, but to connect possibilities. Not simply to organize events, but to help transform dialogue into cooperation and cooperation into action. So our philosophy is simple. Cities as nodes, projects as drivers, cooperation as the pathway. Ladies and gentlemen, since the GCC was officially launched in December 2025, we have been working to build a practical platform for international cooperation. Today, we are building a database of more than 10,000 Chinese and international companies seeking cooperation and growth. We are helping entrepreneurs identify new markets. We are helping projects find partners. We are helping cities connect with investors, universities, businesses, and international organizations. More importantly, we are building a global network of city hubs. Today, GCC has established city hubs and a cooperation platform in locations including Denver, Los Angeles, Toronto, Japan, Pakistan, Lebanon, Spain, New Zealand, Ho Chi Minh City, and Africa. This year, our goal is to establish 20 city hubs around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm standing here because of friendship. My old friend, Dr. Wang Huaidong, who is the chairman of our city hub in Japan, introduced me to many new friends here. So because of him, because of his introduction, I've got to know many new friends here. My great appreciation. So that, in many ways, reflects the spirit of GCC. Old friends introducing new friends. New friends creating new opportunities. New opportunities creating meaningful cooperation. That's is our philosophy. So I spent many years working abroad and in the United Nations. One lesson I learned is this: the world does not need more superficial connections. The world needs meaningful connections. Connections built on trust. Connections built on shared values. Connections built on the willingness to work together and create something useful. That is the type of platform GCC hopes to build. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say a few words about Tokyo. Now, Tokyo is one of the world's largest metropolitan areas, yet it remains clean, orderly, efficient, and highly livable. As I walked through the streets, rode its public transportation system, and observed daily life, I was reminded that environmental responsibility is not simply a government policy. It is a way of life. It can be found in small habits. It's in respect for public spaces, in efficient use of resources, in attention to detail, and in a shared sense of responsibility for future generations. So in many ways, Tokyo demonstrates that economic prosperity and environmental stewardship can advance together. Now, lastly, before I conclude, I would like to express my sincere appreciation again. In addition to Mr. Dr. Wang Huaidong, my colleague and the director of the compliance department of GCC, Mr. Wang Yanjun is also here, and my deepest gratitude to my wife Cassie. She's also here. My deepest, gratitude to all friends who are beside me and always on the at the service of whenever I need. So lastly, please allow me to conclude my my speech by a quote that I have always cherished. We do not inherit this earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children and grandchildren. So let us return it to them, to our children, to our grandchildren, cleaner, greener, more peaceful, and more connected than we found. Thank you very much. Thank you.